This is not a Gen Z thing. This is a human thing. Your content, there's no such thing as too short or too long. It's just too boring. Gen Z is all about 15 seconds, but they just ingested 8 episodes at 60 minutes each. It's time to stop blaming Gen Z and realize your content just sucks. Yep, that's right. I said it. Listen, this whole idea of Gen Z has short attention spans, we got to stop saying this as a marketing community, because it's simply just not true. You know, I'm a millennial, but my dad is like 72 years old now. And I remember growing up, he would be flipping TV stations, right? And if it was a commercial, he flipped. If it wasn't intriguing, he flipped. If it didn't engage him or make him laugh, he flipped. And you have to realize that this whole idea of it's a Gen Z thing, this is not a Gen Z thing. This is a human thing. Human beings are intolerant of mediocrity. And if your content is not hooking them, yes. Best practices, utilize 3-second hooks. Is it a reel versus a long form piece of content on YouTube, on the YouTube platform? We can get into all that. And you know me, I'm all about best practices. But just oversimplifying content with a generation only likes 15-second or 6-second content is just wrong. And it's become, you know, no different. I think anything that you have to work hard for, right? Like people that maybe are out of shape or don't go to the gym, like, yeah, I'm just so busy, you know, it's just, you know, my hours. Yeah. Well, that's an easy cop-out answer. But in reality, you're not being disciplined enough to actually go through a little bit of the pain to wake up early and go to the gym or what have you. And the same thing goes for your content. Yeah, Gen Z, man. Yeah, just 6 seconds, you know, the Gen Z is just different. Or your content's just boring. We've heard the thing, right? Like your content's, there's no such thing as too short or too long. It's just too boring. And we forget that and we don't look inward. So of course, use the best practices and use the hooks, but just like painting an entire generation as it's their fault. No, always look inward. It's your fault because they'll watch these 3.5-hour podcasts. We've seen this. We've even seen it potentially swing an election with more of the younger voters really realizing that they wanted to see these politicians on podcasts to really understand who they are as a person. Of course, they'll watch 3 to 5 minutes of somebody doing makeup in the mirror while they're telling a really engaging story. They'll binge watch 8 episodes on Netflix on a Saturday. So what is that? Gen Z is all about 15 seconds, but they just ingested 8 episodes at 60 minutes each on a Thursday night? No, the generation is not just all about these snackable 15-second clips. They, just like any human, they want to be intrigued. Hey friends, quick favor. Can you please like this video and subscribe to this channel? If you get any value from this episode or the show in general, we'd really appreciate it. Back to the action. You know, even myself, I think I watched, before I actually binged the entire series of Suits, I think I watched an entire episode, part 1 through part 37 on TikTok, where there was 60-second bites and I just kept on, I was intrigued. It was a great story and I kept on clicking and I clicked the profile and I went to part 2 and I was down that rabbit hole. So I think it's a really good reminder in boardrooms and conference rooms, at conferences, you hear some of this speak. And it's a cop-out, in my opinion. We have to stop saying this as a marketing community. It's not a Gen Z thing. It's a human thing. And it's never been about the length. It's always been about the value. And it's your job as a content creator to create the most value possible. How do I educate? How do I entertain? How do I bring value to this person? How do I hook them? How do I make sure they want to invest more of their precious time with me? And that's where you have to look inward with your team and with yourself and realize that that is the end game. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Of course, another rant by myself, but I was at a conference and someone said it again. And I had to author it on LinkedIn and talk about it here on the pod. So I hope you enjoyed that one. This has been yet another edition of the Business of Social podcast. My name is David Brickley, and this has all been powered, as always, by STN Digital.